Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a review and unboxing, or the other way around, on a Makita 18 volt cordless circular saw. It's one of a kit I bought. I bought a bulk lot of 10 Makita tools. The only reason I'm doing reviews on my channel is because I bought them for my use. I'm not sponsored, and I like to share my opinions with you guys. I'm also going through the whole box of 10, plus I got a trimmer. I'll do reviews on them all over a period of time as I need them. I have a job for this today, so let's unbox it. I will put some links underneath for the combo kit that I bought, and I did a review on the batteries and the charger. And the first tool I reviewed was the angle grinder. I've got to say I'm pretty happy with these tools. It's a bit like Christmas, except I had to go and buy my own presents. Now, I'll declare straight up that I'm not a professional carpenter. I'm just a jack of all trades. I've done a fair bit of woodwork in my time, but I've got to say I've never really had much experience at a circular saw. I actually tend to do most of my wood cuts the old-fashioned way with a handsaw. But I have a bit of a job on a larger piece of timber today, and I have had shoulder surgery this year, so it's much easier to use one of these. So we have the unit. We have, I don't know what this is. This looks like it could be for dust extraction. We'll check that out a little bit more in a minute. We have some books, as you would expect. Warranty forms, books, and oh, look at all the Makita tools I'm yet to buy. Wow! They certainly have a good range. Else we have, I think this is a width cut, so you can rip along a board at a certain width. Oh yeah, it looks like it even just goes in there. I don't know how successful these are. The few times I've wanted to rip along a piece of timber, particularly on like a sheet of board, I found it easier to clamp another piece of timber and use that as the fence. I don't know how accurate this would be, but we'll investigate that. And that's all that's in the box. And I do have to say, being the ultimate recycler and not want any waste, I'm really pleased that all the packaging is cardboard. Fully recyclable, that's great. We don't have any of that white expanded polystyrene. Even the tool actually wasn't in a plastic bag, only this little fitting. So excellent. There's going to be hardly any rubbish going to landfill out of that. Now let's look at this tool a little bit more closely. I did have a bit of a look at the instructions, but only as much as most of us blokes do. I just did want to note any features to point out to you guys. I also did have a look on YouTube at some other reviews on these. It appears this model has been out for quite a few years. There was a few reviews on it. It's a model DHS680Z. The Z indicates that it's just a skin, doesn't have the battery. And some of the features with it, well, this is a dust extractor fitting, and it actually just fits in here. And it just has the one screw. There we go. And if you're using it in a workshop situation where you want to have a dust extractor hooked up or a vacuum, you can do that. I'm not going to be doing that much work with it, so I don't think that's necessary, but it's handy they include that in the box. We have a cast aluminium, or probably cast magnesium base, which looks pretty strong. Some of the other reviews I saw noted that it rattled quite a lot. I think this one's actually quite fine. Maybe Makita have addressed that issue. I think the issue was with just adjusting this clamp, and that clamp's all you need to adjust the depth of your cut. It has got a gauge on here, and that's very easy to operate. Whilst I think of it, one guy did point out, with good reason too, he was a professional builder, when you have it set to about a thinner board, so you're not doing full cut, and you sit it down with the battery on it, the extra battery weight does cause it to tip over. Let's put a battery on. And I thought this was a really good point. Batteries go on really easily. They hang out the back, which is fine, and the unit has pretty good balance, I feel. But with the weight of the battery, you can see there it's starting to fall over. And I think if we had the blade adjusted right up, say there, and we went to put it down, Doesn't take much to knock it over. So you do need to be aware that the center of gravity is a bit high because the battery's sticking right up the back. I don't think it's a big issue, but I thought it was a good point the guy made. Normally, if you're cutting full depth, it doesn't appear to be a problem at all. It's quite stable. They do actually have a hook here, which I think they called it a rafter hook. It just swings around. And I guess that's good if you're working on a house or a building and you're up in the rafters or something. I don't think I'd use that at all. And I'm wondering how easy it is to take off. It looks like it's just 2 screws because it may just get in the road. And of course, if I'm not using it, it increases the weight. So I think I will remove that. What do we have here? The blade cover appears to be a cast alloy again. Pretty good there. I like that this is a left-sided blade because being a right-hander, I got really good vision of looking where the cuts are. So I like that. Some I didn't even realise until I was watching the reviews, but some of them have the blades on the other side. So that's pretty good. The adjustments are just sort of a lock-on cam type adjustment. That's for our bevels, and that works fine too. And interestingly, one guy complained that when you change the bevel, it hits this guard and stops you. But I reckon Makita must have fixed that because that works quite neatly there. No issues at all. So we're going from 0, from a 90-degree cut. I think there's a preset lock to give you 45. And I think you can, I can't remember where it is. I think you can adjust that to go a little bit further than 45 degrees. But that looks pretty good. And I like these cam lock things. They're really easy to move. What else do we have? I think there's some LED lights. We'll check it out in a minute. We'll power it up. But I believe there's some lights under here somewhere. So it's really good to see you cutting. The battery is really easy to access, as we can see. There is also a battery level here, like a fuel tank, but we also have them on the battery as well. And there's a green light apparently which comes on when it has a torque control. So when it bogs down, it electronically increases the torque, and a little green light comes on to show you that. I don't think the light's actually necessary. You would probably feel it anyway, and you really shouldn't be taking your eyes off where you're cutting. But yeah, it's another little feature. I'll have to consult my notepad for anything else I had to write down about it, but I think that was it. We'll have to go and give it a test. Okay, just before we go and test this thing out, I have removed the rafter hook, and it's being solid steel. It weighs about 200 grams. So I think if you're not going to use this, it's just dead weight. And interestingly, by taking it off the top here, it seems to have altered the center of gravity just a little bit, and the saw seems a little bit more stable now. I mean, it still will tilt, but it just seems a little bit more stable with the blade set to shallow. It doesn't tip over quite as easily. So I think unless you're going to use that rafter hook, take it off. The only other thing I had to mention that I'd forgotten about was they do give you an onboard tool. The little Allen key sits in the back there. It seems to be fairly firm. I don't think you're likely to lose it, but it's handy that it's with the machine, because one thing's for sure, if it was just loose in my shed, I would lose it. So we'll just check that the blade's tight before we fire it up. It does have a blade lock around here, so that we can make sure that the locking nut is tight, because you never know how they get shipped to you. That feels good. Rightio, where are we putting this? Back where it belongs. Yep, that's actually quite good, out of the road there. Alright, I'll go and get this board ready that I have to cut for another project I'm doing. That'll be the first test for this, but let's just fire it up just to see how it sounds and how the vibration feels. It has a lock for the throttle, and it has the lock button on both sides, so if you happen to be left-handed, you can do that. Alright, so let's power it up again. You can see the lights have come on. Oh, there's quite a severe brake on it. It actually stops very quickly. I guess that's good safety. But yeah, seems to have plenty of power. And we have our battery indicator lights underneath here. The LEDs are staying on. I suppose they're on a timer. Not sure how long they take to go off. Like a drill. Although the drill normally goes off the moment you take the... There you go. So about 10, what was that, 10 seconds or so? Alright, let's go and give it a test. Okay, let's try this out. I'm just cutting up an old bed head here for a workbench project I'm doing in another video. Wow, that was quick. Look at that. Admittedly, it's only chipboard and it's been a bit moisture damaged. I did check where the nails were before I started cutting, but that went through that like butter. How have I survived without one of these cordless circular saws through my 50 odd years of life? That was amazingly easy. So this is going to be a bench top in another project. I'll link the video underneath when I'm not sure which video I'll be up first, but I'm just repurposing an old bed head. It doesn't matter that it's a little bit moisture affected, and it will make a little workshop bench at the shop. Well guys, what can I say about this circular saw? I'm very impressed. I really do like it. I have to say, I spent a long time actually being scared of circular saws, probably because my early experience were the big old heavy ones that had like a 15 amp cord, and you'd start the things up and it'd twitch in your arms, and they were downright scary. This is light, it's powerful, but it's easy to control. It's not overly loud, there's virtually no vibrations, really convenient to use, it's well balanced. So I really like it. I would totally recommend it. Now, like I said, I didn't mention actually at the start, it's a brushless motor, so they do run cooler. You get much better battery life because they're more efficient and more power. This had ample power for what I was doing. I'm sure it would power through much heavier timber than that was only chipboard really. But it's going to be really convenient, and I think that's the best thing about the cordless range. You don't have to worry about untangling extension cords or the cord getting in the road while you're actually using the machine. So very, very happy with this. I couldn't recommend this highly enough. So there we go. Another review done. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. These review videos aren't going to be a big part of my channel, but because I've got a few new pieces of equipment here, I'm going to go through and show you what they're like. It hopefully will benefit someone that's searching YouTube and maybe wanting to buy them. Again, I don't get any kickbacks from it. I'm just happy to share my experiences. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.